final match.
Thank you very much, Sam. Yeah, very quick on that one. The graphics seem to be preemptive review, which is always nice. But we're here for the final map of the day. Eagle Gaming versus Bazooka Puppiez. And like the desk said, a lot of questions about what kind of Eagle Gaming we're going to see today.
I've got a lot of questions about what kind of Bazooka Puppiez we're going to see today, because the only win they have taken so far in all the contenders was week 1 against Mosaic. We've already spoke a lot about Mosaic. They weren't having the best time in week 1. Otherwise, Bazooka Puppiez been rolled 4-0 by CIS, lost 3-1 to Copenhagen Flames last week. Now they're coming up against arguably the stiffest competition in all of contenders, Eagle Gaming. Admittedly, a very different roster, but a roster with some very interesting players on board.
Well, Eagle Gaming, if you look at the standings, they've got themselves that top place finish only off the merit of their 3 wins. Their map win isn't as large as both the Flames and CIS Hope. If they were to drop the series today to Bazooka Puppiez in maybe a 5-game series, they drop down to 3rd place. They instantly lose their strong position.
It's that as well, and for the Puppies, they've shown that real fight back. And for Eagle Gaming, what we've seen from them over the last 3 weeks is that progressively each series has got tougher and tougher to win. Last week was a 3-2. Prior to that, it was a 3-1 in every single case. So, Puppies may be looking to try and cause an upset again against a very different team, but you never know what you're going to get here. We might get a subpar team. We might get, as Sam said, the A-tier team that has yet to be revealed. I'm really excited to see what they bring out.
Different teams from both of these teams respectively. Obviously, you had Mono in for Denia instead earlier on in the season. Bazooka Puppiez actually 2-0'd Ilios the only time they played this map so far. Eagle Gaming, they've changed their roster entirely. They got 0-2'd on Ilios the last time they played this, the only time they played it in Contenders so far. Bit of a mix-up this first map. I don't know how to call it, Des.
One thing I know how to call, though, is Darnier on the Pharah. We spoke a lot about him in week 1 and 2. It was huge. Last week, what we saw from him was a total transformation to being a Genji player. Remember, specifically, his 5K on Hollywood on their 2nd-point offense. He cleaned house completely. I remember in the previous weeks, we'd said, well, we need to see more from him than just a Pharah. He definitely showed he's got that, but the team around him still, I think, need to either mesh a bit better or contribute more to the dives that he's going for, in a sense. I'm not saying all of his team are at fault, but we're still yet to really see something click for the Puppies that sets them apart from those that are in the bottom half of the table.
They may not be putting a Reinhardt in the form of Superpluke, like Harry said, but they're still going to try their hand at the quad tank on Ilios well.
Oh no. Quad tank everywhere. And that's clearly taking some inspiration from what we've seen from other teams today, running quad tank and having unlimited success with it. I'd love to know the round win rate when teams are running this quad tank, or at least the point win rate. I'm pretty sure it's going to be top tier, high 90s, without an absolute doubt.
That's something for the break between week 5 and top 8, but we're into the game itself. And Darnier's Pharah, look how quickly he's getting ult charged from all these targets being grouped together in these high mass targets. No kills, but significant amount. He's nearly got the 100%. They're throwing tanks at him to try and dislodge him and put him off of his game. Finds the pick onto Lilbo. First one of the game. Quad tank not working out. There's the barrage on the hardest already. Stunned, pulled in by Crew. But he's got the rocket boosters to be able to jump himself back out of the well. Now Superpluke has taken out his wingman. Needs to get onto him, shut the Winston down. But you've also got Nesh running around and Meta going to be the one to take the kill. So Bazooka Puppiez have dismantled this quad tank.
A very interesting combination, you might say, there from the members of Eagle Gaming, because what we saw was Leaf fly towards Darnier while he was ulting with the intent of suicide killing him, but Crew actually grabbed Darnier, pulled him towards him away from the Diva and saved his life. All it took then was a rocket jump to be able to keep himself safe. And well, that's only going to help Puppies win out that first round fight. So Eagle Gaming still yet to find the pieces together. I'm very concerned about how this quad tank is going to be able to deal with Darnier on his main hero.
I'll give you a spoiler. It's not. Well, it's not going to do it very easily.
Fortune teller Tridd.
Well, Darnier is still going to have a fire. It's so difficult for these tanks to get up there, especially when he's playing around the skybox with the support. He's even got the Coalescence to try and reinforce it. Coalescence is going to help out those tanks. Superfluke finds Nesh. So they're missing 1 DPS. It finds a second one. It's onto Meza. So it's all on Darnier to bring out that damage. Leaf is taking down Denia. Here's one solution to deal with the Pharah. Don't deal with the rest of her team. Let her die and fall to her death.
Gone for the reset there. I think just Darnier knew that fight was more than over once they'd lost both of their supports. Go for the reset, come back in with the ult. You've got stuff to play around now. They've almost got 5 ults online. We'll have those available for the next fight. On the other side, though, for Eagle Gaming, equally, they are hitting that 5 ult mark. So, big explosive fight set to come next time round. I don't know, Eagle Gaming, this quad tank, I think at some point you've got to take something to deal with Darnier properly, because the only reason they dealt with him last time was by ignoring him. That only works for so long.
One of the strongest aspects of quad tank is the ability to hold a location. Now they have control of the point. Could work out big. Barrage straight onto Crew. Having a Diva flying straight at him yet again. He's going to get the reinforcement from Denia, keep him healthy. There's a Valkyrie coming out to reinforce the healing. Self-destruct going into the air. No one to be found just yet. There was a Graviton Surge inside. Meta caught up in the fray, as is Forsaken. Trying to get out, but Meta's going to lose his mech. And now they're spraying that Coalescence into them. Self-destruct, gonna give him the mech back. Darnay's found hardest in this confusion. And you see an angry Super Fluke jump onto the point to try and dislodge a few members. Darnay finding Lilbo for the kill feed. Still going in favor of Eagle Gaming. They got 3 bodies on the point to the 1. Meta gonna take to the skies. Hopefully it's safer for him, but he's still gonna back off. Eagle Gaming retain control of the point.
So a bit of a scrappy fight, still back and forth, but the latter few kills really secured that fight onto the side of Eagle Gaming. All the ults got burnt by Bazooka Puppiez, and Crew has still got hold of that whole hog. So it's working out for them so far. Darnay, again, I'm still got concerns that at one point he'll actually... I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it. Basically, get a bit more confidence in and be willing to drop a bit lower. Get those rockets actually nailing into the tanks directly rather than trying from high up like he is now. It does put you at risk, but the damage returns you'll get will probably be worth the investment.
Well, he's barraging right at ground level, so Crew can just pull him and interrupt him straight away. Nesh finding hardest and bored, so they've now lost the support and tank of the quad tank. It's going to fall apart from here for Eagle Gaming. They can't hold this out without any healing, without any of components of their tank. It's just the Roadhog. Yeah, sure, he can store, take a breather, heal up. You still get bursted down anyway. Bazooka Puppiez going to take control of the point.
So Darnay, I know I was saying get close to them. I don't know so much about ulting right in front of a Roadhog who you have not confirmed has used his hook. That's something we've seen previously from Pharaohs when they're facing off. I think actually it was in the first week. It was Bazooka Puppiez versus Mosaic. They waited for Valetire's hook to come out before Darnay dropped in and went in with the ultimate. That's what won them fights back then. This time round, playing maybe not too cautiously, you might say. There's such thing as over-aggression.
You got a bit of a caster's curse, Des, but when it comes to wishes, you're a bit of a monkey's paw as well. It's not quite what you want. You get the wish, always turns against them. Darnay still in the air. Self-destruct going to ground him. Here's the time for Eagle Gaming to strike. Leaf takes out Meta. Meta returns it onto Hardest, and Nesh with the pulse bomb onto Super Fluke. As Crew going to go into the air. Very nice of him to land on the other side of the well. Hooks onto Nesh, but the sound barrier going to negate it. There was the barrage. No one to be found. Still fighting into this tanky lineup. Bazooka Puppiez still in control, but Darnay, he's about to lose it.
He's literally about to fall off the edge. He's trying to hang on for dear life. Just about gets the rocket jump back up as well.
8 HP.
To keep himself around 1 HP. Not to last much longer, it feels.
He's still alive, though, and he's getting healed up now by Denia, who's popped that Valkyrie and going to go into the air. Heal up everyone. Keep Bazooka Puppiez alive. The quad tank.
Sticky.
No longer a quad tank. They're going for triple DPS with Crew onto the Tracer. So they've got a DPS option. Hasn't seemed to do anything for Eagle Gaming as Bazooka Puppiez still rolling over them in the kill feed. Nesh on the back line needs that health pack. 150 HP needs to be replenished as Meta finds 2 more kills. Quad tank falling apart yet again. And Darnay finds onto Super Fluke. Meta again onto Crew. Bazooka Puppiez taking round 1 on Ilios.
Well, I've got to say, this Eagle Gaming lineup so far not showing the level of dominance we've seen from the other 6 players in their roster. Not supposed to have played it terribly, but again, quad tank, there's only so long it's been able to survive against the rain of barrage coming down from the Pharah. We'll like to see them mix things up a little bit as we go on to Lighthouse, go back to a more standard setup. I don't know, I'm going to wait. Let's give it 20 seconds. They might have a bit of a conversation and choose to change things up. For Puppies, though, no real need to change. The onus is always on the losing side to change up what you're playing. Darnay's going to stick on that Pharah once again.
The problem with the quad tank, the onus is on Darnay to make a mistake rather than Eagle Gaming to be able to capitalize on their composition. So they're waiting for Darnay to get low, maybe try a cheeky barrage, and then counteract it and try and gain some territory from it. I don't like Eagle Gaming relinquishing their control to Bazooka Puppiez. Without that, they're just along for the ride and hoping what they can get.
Let's not forget what it was that Unfixed did earlier on when they played this round. It was basically trying to go a bit too low to the tanks and got himself hooked out the sky and died. Well, not even hooked, just burnt down very quickly.
There's a bit of a switcheroo going on. Eagle Gaming, they've wrapped all the way behind. They're just retaining themselves, waiting for Little Bells amp it up. They're hiding. I'm not sure Bazooka Puppiez knows exactly where they are. They know roughly where they are on the map. And here they go. They're going to push through, amp it up. Probably going to bring through, speed up the fight, add some tempo to this game. They're on the point and they're going to capture it very fast. They need to get bodies in there. Nesh is in the middle of the tanks. He doesn't want to be there by himself. There's Meta going to dive in. Meza is there as well. Still on the point, but it's Eagle Gaming who've got control of this first cap. They keep fighting. They're still trying to regain some control. Darnay just peppering them. There's the barrage, immediately eaten up. That was the perfect play by Leaf to shut that down as the Coalescence comes in. Pulse bomb onto Hardest. Darnay's out of the fight, as we've already seen. Now the Coalescence is going to burn through everyone and heal up his teammates. Still going to run through Meta. He's put a self-destruct on the point. He's going to force everyone to get off. Maybe give some position. Super Fluke can put that shield up, keep himself alive. And the fight keeps on continuing, but Eagle Gaming still in control.
Eagle Gaming right now, like a tantruming child that you just cannot move. They've sat themselves down on the floor and said, no, I refuse to be moved. That is how quad tank always plays out. You will always get the ground that you want, purely due to sheer numbers and health bars walking in there. Generally, the real struggle comes in when you're trying to survive poke coming onto the point in the first place before the eventual dive comes in from the team that are trying to aggress in. Darnier, he got his ult incredibly quick, but unfortunately, you're firing it in front of a D.Va. We saw exactly what happened. Leaf only went down to half HP, so could get healed back up, and they managed to hold out. But here comes the diving for Puppiez.
Sound barriers answered. The pulse bomb going to eat through that shield, but not find a kill. There's an Earth Shatter onto the point. Not sure who it hit. Didn't think it hit anyone. Meza drops that Primal Rage onto board. Leaf finally takes care of Darnier again. He seems to be the answer when Darnier's dropping low. Whole Hog gets the headshot, knocks Meza off the map. They're trying to poke away at Hardest. Nesh just trying to find that avenue in. Meta onto Hardest. He also gets Lilbo and Super Fluke. This guy is decimating Bazooka Puppiez whenever he gets the chance to on this D.Va. And now Leaf going to use the self-distract, get some more percentage on the board, but they're going to lose control to Bazooka Puppiez.
A little bit scrappy as a whole there for Eagle Gaming. They had members in either corner of the room, so no real consistent healing to be spread across the whole unit. And you saw for the majority of that fight, Nesh was just like, oh, hey, Hardest, I really need a pulse bomb right now. Do you mind being my ult battery? And Hardest was like, sure, I'll stand in a corner and not move for you. So he was quite happy to charge that up. Got the pulse bomb on hand. Everything's looking pretty good for him right now. That's a great ult from Darnier.
Barrage finds Lil Bo straight away using the perfect angle, knowing Eagle Gaming would force their way onto the point. The pulse bomb takes out the second support. Without support, what does a quad tank do? It falls and crumbles. Bazooka Puppiez with one of the cleanest wipes on Ilios.
Much better. So the panic forced out of Darnier's ultimate there, forced a number of mistakes out of Eagle Gaming. Once again, Hardest is stepping outside of Super Fluke's shield. And to be fair, Zarya, she's quite sustainable in her own right. She has that ultimate on side. Sorry, the ultimate. The barriers on side to keep herself going. Problem is, she's isolating herself against 2 or 3 members there. Sadly, a barrier will not keep you alive for very long when you've got 3 members focus firing you. I'd like to see them maybe try and group up behind Super Flu a bit more. They've got 2 ultimates on side. There goes the Grav Surge.
They're doing it again, and they're going to fight. The Singularity is going to lock them all together. They're going to have a recall to get himself out of it. Self-destruct on the point. Sound barrier being used. Here's the barrage. No one around to deal with it this time. So many distractions from so many angles, and Bazooka Puppiez shut down Eagle Gaming again.
Whether that was planned or not, I don't know, but for Puppiez, that was beautiful. Darnier getting into position, and as soon as that self-destruct came through from Meta, he was there with the ultimate ready to fire away. Tans got confused, didn't know where to look, and they lost 2 members to the self-destruct, as well as 1 to the barrage. Really good stuff from Bazooka Puppiez, and they are handling this quad tank ridiculously well.
And he's looking to find more ult charge, 20% already. He's not going to have it straight away for the fight, but he's going to pepper them as they go through this choke. That shield from Super Fluke can only do so much. You can see a Lucio going through a bit of a riot as he jumps around the back of the point, but Darnier, he's still in the air. He's raining down from above. Go through the chimney, you might find a better angle, who knows? But he's going to peel around the outside as the quad tank looking to regain control. 6-3. They need to get bodies on the point and contest this. 92% for Bazooka Puppiez, but they're all being knocked back. Finally, the quad tank going to entrench themselves. Shatter available for Super Fluke, waiting for the right time to use it. But everyone's taking to the skies, everyone's scattering. They're trying to regroup for their final push to shut down the 95% and ticking Eagle Gaming.
They've got Lilbo's ultimate on side there, which will prevent a lot of the bursts that can come out of Darnier. Got to make sure they pop it at the right time. Overtime is in play. Here he comes for the chimney.
Barrage straight in there, hooked, and defense matrix. Leaf shutting it down onto Darnier. Here's the Earth Shatter, going to knock down that Primal Rage Winston. The Coalescence shredding through them as hardest. Leaf, Super Fluke, get on the board, blocking that self-destruct in the corner. Just a D.Va mech on the point. Someone's hiding in the corner. I think it's Forsaken. He's going to have to hippity-hoppity get out of that property as Eagle Gaming lock it down with the quad tank, making it work and forcing out the 3rd round.
Much better final coordinated fight coming out of Eagle Gaming as well, forcing onto the point, burning down the D.Va. They were aware that mech was most likely online with the self-destruct. Let's thought isolate him out of the way, focus on the other members who are trying to scrap behind us as well. So much better kind of the dividing of that fight, you might want to say. Finding ourselves at 1-on-1. Eagle Gaming still with work to do and still sticking by this quad tank.
I thought Singularity was bad for this, running the quad tank, but Eagle Gaming, they're putting it through the roster. Maybe this is what the B squad, so to speak, has been practicing the entire time and going, right, here's why Eagle Gaming can shut down quad tank, because it's all we scrim against when we play against our sister team.
Quite possibly at this point, but Nesh is going to opt to take the Widowmaker away. We spoke a lot about Widowmaker's impact on Ruins and the amount of control it gives you. Best way to shut that down, hide everyone behind a shield, give everyone a huge health bar, and the Widow will really struggle to find targets to bring down. If they can isolate the supports, that's a very different story, but you'll be hard-pressed to do that through all these shields that they've got.
Well, Crew and Leaf can just dive on her as well. They've got the mobility, and Hardest, he can reinforce that with the personal shields, while everyone else hide behind the Rhine shield. As you said, Des, it's going to be really hard for Nesh to find the angles unless they miss position, but they're just hiding. They're waiting.
They're going to force this yellow bridge.
Yeah, Meza, he's hiding around the corner. They're just walking it through at the moment. Where's the amp it up? Where's the explosion of speed, of pace, of energy as they jump onto the point? Try and get those bodies there. Darnier dancing around on that Tracer. Looking for the right angle. Everyone's cowering behind the shield. Point progression being handed over to Eagle Gaming, but they're not allowing them to cap it as the bodies are starting to fill the capture zone. Darnier still going low, having to recall out there. Nesh found Leaf while he was demeched. And
Darnier.
Leaf He also answered onto Forsaken. Here's point control. Going over to Eagle Gaming. Super Fluke takes out Darnier. Doesn't matter what he does with that pulse bomb as Lilbo takes out Meta as well. And now Crew on the Widowmaker. Well, he wasn't on the Widowmaker, but Hardest surely was.
Absolutely jumps on top of him and shuts him down there. This is very, very similar to what we saw coming out of CIS Hope earlier on when they played the triple tank with the Sombra, was charge onto bridge, hold it down, and basically just keep on going for the picks as they pile in. There's no Roadhog on side this time round, but with all the shields that they've got coming on side, and the mobility of both the Winston and the D.Va means that Nesh isn't really having a great impact at the moment.
Infosight's online, so they know exactly where Eagle Gaming is, and they've got to pivot around it. Meta playing a bit of Sky Shooters along with his opposite man, Leaf. Point control being conceded to Bazooka Puppiez for a quad tank composition that wants to entrench themselves. They're being very mobile and leaving that point. A lot of progress being made. Here's the Graviton Surge. Sound Barrier is the answer. They're going to go through it. Earth Shatter to combo it beautifully. Only Forsaken escapes the Shatter as Super Fluke will run through. Graviton Surge, sorry. Self-destruct onto the point. Hardest takes out Meta while he's outside of the mech. Eagle Gaming not allowing a percentage for Bazooka Puppiez.
Now, Bazooka Puppiez really need to go back to the Pharah or a Junkrat or something along those lines. He has them to burst down through those shields and enable everyone else to go in. Now, we've heard about this a few times. The counter to a quad tank supposedly is going for the Sombra and the Tracer and just harassing the hell out of their backline, forcing them to be confused and not sure where to aim. That's generally how you capitalize. In Eagle Gaming, we saw just a couple of minutes ago on Lighthouse, they looked a bit scattered at moments in some of the fights. This is an attempt at capitalizing on that. They've got maybe 1 or 2 chances to get this right.
They're going to attempt the death of 1,000 cuts as they go on to Eagle Gaming. They're still entrenched on that point. Coalescence going to heal through the tanks. Actually looking to force out Forsaken. He's going to retreat very far back and then come back in with Bazooka Puppiez, reaching that final 10% of timer. Transcendence being used aggressively, bringing everyone to the point. Self-destruct goes into the air. Everyone's going to have to hide behind Super Fluke's shield or hide behind the structures as Leaf is going to be on that point. Darnier gets the bomb onto Super Fluke, so that's their main tank source down. Someone's got to capitalize on it. Darnier again onto Crew. Leaf finding Forsaken. Hardest just cutting through this tank line as Nesh gets a kill onto Lilbo. 100% charge. He's got a Graviton Surge. He's going to need to use it, but they're going to retreat back, allowing Bazooka Puppiez to get some percentage. They've got a lot of wiggle room on this.
Absolutely, they do. A full 99/100%, take your pick. But either way, Nesh has nearly got the EMP online. That was the big trigger that Bazooka Puppiez are looking for. If they can keep on rolling ults around and surviving against this comp coming out of Eagle Gaming, they can just keep on staggering them out time and time again between these fights. And let's not forget, generally quad tanks are very slow-moving comps. It's not the quickest thing in the world. That's why you always take a Lucio to get you onto points a little bit quicker. Problem is, it doesn't quite have the mobility that you're seeing from the other side. Darnier and Nesh have got a lot of mobility between them, and there's the EMP.
EMP hitting multiple members, but not all of them. I believe Bao still has abilities. Denio with the double boop onto Lil Bao and Hardest. Bazooka Puppy shutting it down.
And they only have to use 1 ultimate to make that happen. So now they can keep on staggering and rotating around. Next time around, can they actually manage to stall Leaf out here? They managed to isolate one member out. This could be it.
No, Nesh is going to travel back. It's not safe enough for him. Darnier getting Leaf. I believe he jumped off the edge there just to get the reset because he knows he's going to have to get his mech back somehow, and it's going to be really difficult running into Bazooka Puppy's lineup.
50% on the ticker. Not too much more to go. They've got to do that all over again in another half. Now they're looking for the EMP for Nesh once again. Otherwise, still now they've got the self-destruct, they've got Pulse Bomb, they've got Sound Barrier to survive that initial engage. It's very, very good at offsetting burst. Potentially the kind you'll see from a Graviton Surge when it lands.
Same route that they started it all off with. There's a self-destruct. I believe it's a Pulse Bomb actually going in the back. Hacked. Hardest. Not going to be able to use that Singularity just yet. That Graviton Surge as a self-destruct goes into the back of the point. Crew finding Forsaken. No Transcendence available. Graviton Surge going to link them all together. Leaf finding Meza. No more kills to be found as the Sound Barrier comes down from Denia to keep everyone alive. Earth Shatter onto Darnier. Crew's going to be the clean-up duty as Denia dancing around the point, and Meta going to the back. He's going to get charged out, and he's outside of his mech. Here's the kill. Nesh, 12 HP, has to retreat. They're not conceding the point just yet. There's one body still. It's the Primal Rage Winston. Of course he's going for the stall. Nesh nearly has the EMP. He's going to come straight back in with it. Transcendence comes out. Didn't get the Lucio. He pops the Sound Barrier. A little bit of poor timing. Lilbo coming out with the save, coming out clutch as the micro missiles will take out Forsaken. Dancing onto the point. Lilbo, Super Fluke onto Meza. Denny on the high ground is still stalling this out. 99%. Overtime ticking down. Noah's on the point, despite everyone being around.
Mistiming and mispositioning, probably the biggest curse for them in that final round. The EMP not hitting the Lucio, as you said, so the Sound Barrier kept everyone alive. Meza dying before he managed to keep himself safe as well. I think it was from the... It was at the very start where they popped the Sound Barrier themselves on the side of Bazooka Puppiez. He was outside of it, got himself tagged down before the Sound Barrier landed. They lose a main tank, fights in a 6 versus 5. It's always generally going to go the way of Eagle Gaming. Quad tank's rolling its way through. Seems to be the EU Contenders way, just constantly play quad tank and it beats out most teams.
I wonder if Eagle Gaming are just going to run quad tank for the entire day.
Please.
That would be so frustrating for both Bazooka Puppies and us, because we'd like to see a little bit of diversity. But we're moving on to our second map. Obviously, we're going to take a quick break before we do that and bring you map number 2, where Eagle Gaming lead the series 1-0. Welcome back to Overwatch Contenders. We're here with map number 2. It is, of course, Bazooka Puppies going up against Eagle Gaming, and Eagle Gaming leading the series 1-0. Should we call these guys Eagle Gaming B? Because it feels like it's a completely new roster.
We should call them Eagle Gaming Quad, because that's all they seem to be running is Eagle Gaming Quad Tank the entire time. It's all we saw for those first 3 rounds. Puppies half had a read on it. They were kind of going towards the Pharaoh, which half worked, and then the Sombra, which did work again for about half a round or so. I think going towards the Tracer wasn't always maybe the best idea for them there. It didn't really have too much impact. I understand the harassment side of it, but ultimately Eagle Gaming just shrugged it off and said, we're still going to win this fight no matter which way you look at it. So shoot along, little Tracer. We're going to win this fight. We're going to win the rounds, and we're going to win the map. Yeah, turning Tracer into a fly. Next map, going to be Hollywood, so that's all consistent across the day. Well, we saw Barney map too, now that I say that. But Hollywood seems to be a map that's more favourable. I think the map percentage is about 60-40 split coming out for teams favouring Hollywood. The closest of the decisions that need to be made. Closest decisions now for Eagle Gaming is that they want to carry on the meme and play quad tank all day long, or do they want to change it up? Because this map is very, very rough to play quad tank on. There is far too much verticality. Diving, admittedly, they played with the D.Va and the Winston last time round, and it worked out for them on the attack. Here, you're going to really struggle to get into Cafe with only two of your tanks going for that kind of dive. So hoping to see them mix things up. They will be on attack first. Please no. Here we go. We've seen Singularity do this. They ran the quad tank, right? They ran it through the gate, went back through the studio area, through the backstage, round the back of the gate, through Cafe, and dislodged it. Can be run on point A with great effect. We saw Giganti do it in week 1 to great effect, as you say, because what does quad tank do very well? It takes ground incredibly well and then holds it quite safely, you'd say, for about 10 seconds until the poke starts ramping up from the other side and they can deal with it. I like what I'm seeing from Puppy so far. If this is what they're choosing to stick with, going for something like the Junkrat or the Farah alongside the Sombra would have been the perfect solution in the last map for them. Junkrat obviously going to be able to shred through the tankiness of Eagle Gaming should they run that quad tank again. But of course, Danye on the Sombra. We like the Sombra here. We like it in Europe. We just don't see enough of it. We don't see it played to its full capacity as you might see it in other regions or the OWL when it finally comes out. We've seen a lot of teams starting to run it this week, it feels. I think we've seen it in all 3 series today. Previously back in week 1, I think we saw it all in week 1, and then week 2 we saw one team pick it up, and it's kind of grown on as time has gone by. So it almost sounds bad memeing ourselves. We're a bit behind the times here in Europe. Still got some catching up to do. Haven't yet found a solution to quad tank. You never see quad tank getting run in Korea purely because the Tracer and the Sombra, they deal with it incredibly well. One thing they don't deal too well with anywhere is pauses. I'm going to come back to our wonderful faces for another 5 seconds.
Well, that's an innate reality of all Overwatch, that you're going to have a pause sometimes. Sometimes connection issues happen. Hopefully when we get to LAN, less likely to happen. And it'll be solved a lot faster because I imagine our techs are probably a lot better than someone just sat in front of a PC.
Trying to be an Overwatch pro player and a technician at the same time, not always the best mix. Kind of got enough time to learn both.
You got to focus on one of them at least. But Hollywood, second map. Who's the Widowmaker? Who are we going to see? Because Eagle Gaming, we haven't seen any real DPS options other than just running tanks.
At this point, it may as well be one of the supports because, like you say, we haven't seen it from any of them yet so far. Literally no clue who's going to pick it up. We speak about Leaf being the Doomfist a lot, so you maybe see Hardest pick it up in this case. However, again, with their history, the only thing we've seen from them so far is Quad Tank. Wouldn't be surprised if that did carry on here. On the other side, though, looking at it, Nesh has played Widow quite a lot in previous weeks, and to somewhat great effect as well. Always kind of questioning who's where and what rank, I suppose you could say, in the week in terms of our Widow players. Seen Kenzie stand up in some weeks. Naga's been huge in other weeks. Equally, Nesh has been pretty big in some of those games as well. Consistency is always the key thing you're looking for with these Widow players, though. And that's what I'm looking to see today, is Nesh to really step up and say, right, we're going to hold you guys here. Second point is where we make our final stand. We saw Darnier go absolutely huge on Genji a few days ago. I want to see more of that today.
A huge Genji, I remember anyway. This is a couple of years ago. This is 2016. We casted a tournament in the UK, Insomnia. It was one of the opens.
Back when we were a wee boy.
Back when we were wee lads. But Gamers Origin, they came there. Leaf was on that roster at the time. And obviously we were like, UK team, we're just going to win. The French dominated that competition entirely. There's nothing we could do about it. But Leaf, standout hero at that point in time, was Genji. And we've seen that as an option to shut down the Widowmakers at distance. Just get in their face, just disrupt that top of saloon play that we see. So maybe the Doomfist, maybe, more traditionally, the Genji coming out from Leaf.
I think you see Genji in most circumstances here. Doomfist is going to be incredibly situational where they choose to pick him up. And although he does have some verticality in his pick, he hasn't got the wall climb, he hasn't got the dash that Genji has, doesn't have the deflect, most importantly, for when you actually get up in their faces and they're just trying to kill you before you can touch anyone. You can burst through a Doomfist if you've got 3, 4, 5, or even 6 members all grouped around quite closely together. Chances are you're going to have someone up there supporting that Widowmaker on the high ground. We see it from teams all the time. Put all the resources up there, retreat together as one back down to the lower ground, and then push back in for the fight once the diving team's mobility is all down.
I want to know what Bazooka Puppies are going to run as well. They obviously run their tank lineup. They keep it the same. It's pretty much always going to be that Winston and that Diva. Where's the variation? Where's the Roadhog? Where's the Orisa? Where's the Reinhardt? What are these guys doing? They're just staying by those diving tanks and relying heavily on just hitting that back line, or maybe going for the counter dive, depending on the composition.
That mobility is just so essential these days because it's so flexible in terms of the counter dive, of the actual dive itself. Makes it quite hard to decide between what you want to play sometimes, but Winston and Diva will always be the kind of 2 staple go-to ones, either until more mobility comes into the game, or ta-da-da, new hero potentially comes along with even more mobility. That's the dream.
Well, we know the next hero is not going to have that mobility. Brigitte. I mean, she does get a speed boost on the ult. My waifu, yeah, if you want to do it like that. But no, she's going to shape things up as well. People are saying that we're seeing triple support nowadays because she's got that quasi-tank role that she fills in. And it shuts down a lot of dive because obviously you just knock them out of the sky.
I'm really curious to see if we see something like Reinhardt main, so guys like Christopher just change over and start playing Brigitte almost exclusively because she... Okay, can't really protect the team too much. You have to stand in like a line behind us, like a conga line, to try and stay safe from any projectiles coming your way. But it's the disruption that she brings, the healing as well. Like you say, staying power in a fight, Quad Tank is going to be terrifying when she gets involved in the mix. I'd be really curious to see if teams choose to run a Ryan and a Brigitte together. That double shield is going to be like,
it's not a quad tank anymore, Des. It's a pent tank.
It feels that way very much so.
Actually, I'd imagine it would be like Brigitte leading the charge. It would be more like a snake. So you hear people like saying in the chat, "I'm a snake, follow me." They run straight at the point and hopefully get some decent kills on there. But that's coming up for Stage 3 of OWL. I believe Brigitte is going to be active, and Season 10 of Comp, 2 weeks into it. So you have that grace period finally.
Oh boy. When she lands, it's going to be pretty disruptive. Imagine when she lands in Contenders as well, how it's going to mix things up.
Season 2, that'll be for.
And think about it as well. Quad Tank is so popular here. Brigitte is very good at dealing with the big frontline shields of like a Ryan, for example. That could be the go trigger you need as you play like a Lucio Brigitte in defense. Just shield bash the Ryan, charge in, wipe them out. That's the end of Quad Tank in EU. We start seeing other stuff actually come through.
Well, they need to get Sombra down first. Let's not complicate things. We're still seeing a little bit of it. Also, I think Eng's pushing the Torbjorn very hard at the moment. Maybe more teams will pick that out on them by the defense. And sometimes we might see it more Hanamura because it is something that has creeped up over the course of the season, is the Torb usage from a non-troll perspective.
More on supports than anything else as well, which is really weird. Like your boy Eng, you're just like always the tweets like stop, change, hero, and it never happens.
H-key. Right there.
Do you think last week he saw your tweet go up where you were just like, Eng, stop it, please? And then he was just like, no, I'm going to play it this week. I'm going to show you what I'm made of, Tridd. And he's actually played it and done pretty well with it today.
But here's the thing. It's like, I think that the Torbjorn pick can work on the circumstances. The problem I had with Eng playing it last week was that he just got deleted straight away. And then he just ran it anyways. Like, I'm going to stick with it. And then got deleted straight away again. And it almost cost him the point. Thankfully, I stand by my guns. I don't think CIS Hope deserve to hold that point A after that. But if 5 of your team members can fight against 6 of them when you're basically soft throwing the game, I mean, it says a lot about the quality of your team.
It worked out today.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's why I don't have a problem with it. Because if it works, it's great. It's when it doesn't work and he doesn't change. That's when I have a problem.
I was going to say.
It is what it is.
Exactly. It is what it is. And one thing we're still in, of course, is the pause. Let's talk more about the two teams as well, because, again, not a whole ton coming into today about EG. The second lineup we haven't seen in any of the 3 weeks so far. It's been pretty much exclusively the A team, as we keep calling them. Again, this team, we're not quite sure what to call them yet. There might be the B team, there might be the quad team. We just don't know. Have to wait and see how many more quad tank rounds they try and play today. For Puppies, though, we keep on speaking about what they need to do. Again, looking towards something like the Farah, the Junkrat, the Sombra. Just bring something in to try and break down this quad tank. Otherwise, they might just go, well, quad tank's working. Why do we want to change and just stop doing what's working already for us? And we keep saying earlier on today, the onus is always on the losing team to be the one that changes.
Well, that's Bazooka Puppiez at the moment, going into the series 0-1. And let's talk about someone else coming to Bazooka Puppiez at least.
How many things are we going to find to talk about now? This is where a cast's true metal is tested.
Well, no, I'm going to say, one thing we haven't touched on, Analyst Death touched on it briefly, Denia coming into the roster. I know you had some strong thoughts about the trade that happened with Mono, and how Denia has gelled into this team.
Yeah, it was really weird, because it was kind of half-half between the two. Like, it wasn't really a straight skill swap. Like, the reason we all thought that Mono went over to Mosaic was purely to go and play with some other Danes. He was friends with them. They played together before. It was kind of a, well, sorry, guys, I know these guys really well. I'm going to go and play with them. We've got that synergy, so on and so forth. Maybe things aren't going so well here. Bad news for you there, mate, I'm afraid.
Well,
but on the other way, Denia's done pretty well so far as well. I actually like how he's come to the team and changed a few things around, and the coach himself said Denia actually is making some big changes to this team that we didn't expect he would do, so they're very happy with that change.
Des, we've been saved. Unfortunately, the audience has not been saved. Because this pause is taking a little bit longer than we thought, we're going to go to a quick break, and hopefully when we come back, we'll bring you Map 2. Welcome back to Overwatch Connectors Europe. We're waiting for the game to kick back off. We've just come off the back of a pause. Hopefully we're ready to jump in the game relatively soon, but me and Des need to catch our breath for just a couple of seconds.
Have a bit of drink of water. These guys clearly need to get their internet sorted out, which they have now done. So it means we can continue, or more get started with Hollywood, as obviously nothing has happened yet. Now, once again, Eagle, please.
Running that quad tank again, boys. Here we go. Slambulance coming right at you onto Bazooka Puppiez. So Danye on the Sombra, Nesh on that Junkrat. That's a combination or a solution to the problem that you proposed. Let's see how good it really is.
Concerned that Nesh isn't currently holding himself up. He's actually holding himself really high up here. They were aware this was a thing and to say, right, well, the answer is to sit as high as we can. They're literally sat at the top of the elevator.
He's like, come and get me, boys. Come up here. Darnier finding Bald, so they've already missed out one of their supports, and Diva going for the dislodge. The lift is there to catch him, boys. He's back up on the high ground. He's going to drop down onto this team. Hardest taking out Denia, so they're missing one of their own supports now. Nesh taking out Crew, so it's leveling the playing field. It's going back and forth. Hardest sound about 75 charge right now. Yeah, Darnier, if I was you, I'd leave as well. It's not really worth your hassle. Jumping back in, Meza taking out Leaf off the Forsaken, got the D-Mech. He's at 100% charge, but they're falling back anyway. They've lost too many members to carry this on.
When I see Eagle Gaming play quad tank, I think no. When I see Bazooka Puppiez counter it, I say yes. Much better from Nesh sitting on the high ground up there as well. There's grenades coming down from on high, melted all the shields away, made sure there was no real in there for Eagle Gaming, and this is exactly why you take the Sombra. Getting into the back line, Darnier, he brought down Bard super early. He's waiting for that ultimate to come out before he pops the EMP. There it comes!
Hackerman strikes again, Super Fluke, forcing out the Transcendence. Everyone's hiding in the cafe. They know they've got no resistances, no shields, as Darnier will shred through Super Fluke. Nesh getting that D-Mech out to go, putting the down the bear trap, waiting for someone to go and trap onto it. He's triggered something. It's Hardest down there with a Discord orb, and they're gonna get wiped yet again.
So, Bazooka Puppiez have survived stage 1 of quad tank. Now it's like a weird transforming mech where they start getting their ults come online and they go for the full combo. That's what they now need to respond to. Best thing they've got is they have Nesh's ultimate online. If they can just keep on cycling through that tire and through the EMP, they can continue to shut this down.
Transformers, quad tank in the sky.
You know it.
They're getting ready, because obviously when the ults come on, it becomes a completely different ball game for Eagle Gaming on the quad tank. They're backing off, they know the Rip Tire's coming. Premature sound barrier, because they knew it was coming in, but he's got the duration to wait it out. You can see him dancing around. No, he was just waiting for someone. And then when the sound barrier goes, he goes onto Hardest, and they're missing a core composition. That Graviton Surge, most importantly, to lock everyone together for these tanks to just roll over. But Bazooka Puppiez still retaining their ultimates.
Puppiez, quite ironically, without any bazookas, no Farah on side, are countering quad tank very effectively. But they still have yet to really crack through the 5-man stack that is about to come through with all the ultimates from Eagle Gaming. This is the real test. If they hold here, they are going to be the first team in the European Contenders to deal with this adequately.
Well, here comes the Graviton Surge. I'm not sure about that, but he doesn't want to fire it down range because he knows Meta's there with the defense matrix. Perfect timing here. Everyone's going to dive onto it. Denny has gone down. No more healing. Meta lost his neck. He's still going to front the self-destruct. You can't EMP that. But they're going to keep going. Meta onto Super Fluke. Will get taken out by the Big Bang. Nesh is on the back line with his other DPS as Leaf takes out Forsaken. Trying to stay on the point, trying to stay on the capture, keep it going there in favor, stall it out even longer, let someone come in. 60 seconds, but Hardest, Leaf, they're getting kills. They've got control of the payload now. And Bazooka Puppiez, it's on them to try and run into a quad tank, which never goes well.
Well, all the ults got burnt. They've still got hold of the Earth Shatter as well, so didn't even overcommit to this fight if they didn't need to. Alas, the trend of not halting the quad tank continues here in European Contenders. Eagle Gaming now, I really want to know if they stick with it on the second point because there is so much verticality to deal with.
Team that figures out how to deal with it should franchise it, not even use it, just patent it and then go, right, you owe us money every time you use it. Because it's going to be a solution. Someone hasn't found the way to full hold that quad tank just yet, especially in European Contenders. But there's a lot of potential coming out for it.
I think the solution they picked up here with the Puppies was good because it held it out for quite a while. In most cases against most comps, if there's a 5-man ult stack, then you are going to struggle. So the most you can do almost is delay it. Here goes Nesh once again behind.
Where's it going? Like the Roadrunner trying to find a way in. Oh, the personal shield from Zarya bought enough time for them to take it out.
A high ground there will always be in Puppy's favor. You can maybe commit 2 members to this upground dive if they want to. You're looking at maybe Crew and Leaf. Other than that, there isn't really a way for Eagle Gaming to fight, so they want to stick on low ground and just keep on pushing the payloads.
EMP nearly ready for Darnier. He's going to drop down from above. Shut down every possible ability from Eagle Gaming. There it is. Where's the capitalization from the Bazooka Puppies? They only got Little Bow so far. Missing the mobility, missing the support. Nesh takes out the secondary healer. There's no more healing for the Eagle Gaming. They should fall over quite nicely as Forsaken even gets in on the action by taking out Super Fluke.
Smart little jump up there as well to dodge the charge coming in from the Wright. It's small little things like that that can make a difference. If you lose a member there, potentially you lose the fight overall. Small differences to keep teams in this, and so far, Puppies are handling this very well. They've got hold of the Riptire, they've got hold of the Transcendence. Everything is in their side right now. Eagle Gaming, they pull out a combo.
Right, Graviton Surge is going to pull them together, but the Riptire's going around. Sound barrier, they've not taken it out just yet. Finally, Hardest gets it, but they were too busy dealing with the Riptire. They didn't capitalize on the singularity that was holding them together. Leaf taking out Denia, and now they're keeping the payload in motion. Darnier gets a hack, but I'm not sure what he's going to do with it. As he jumps in and immediately tries to jump back out, but the hammer delays his transit.
They really could have done with not having so many members caught in and around the Graviton Surge. I think there were 2 stuck in it, and there were a few supports fleeing the scene at the time. When the tanks can't dive in front of the supports to keep them alive from the aggressors, well, the whole thing's going to fall apart. We always know what happens when you lose your supports nice and early. Puppy's doing an okay job of holding, to be fair. There's still 1 minute to go, and they can at least force a fight one more time. There are 3 ults on the side of Eagle Gaming, though. Potentially
one more fight. They're going to have the EMP to shut down those ultimates that may want to come out from Eagle Gaming if they time it just right. Meta diving in. There's the EMP. No one's got any shields. Run over them. Run into them. Just your time to slam the Slambulance. But they haven't quite managed it as the Earth Shatter comes out. Doesn't hit anyone. Leaf going to lose his mech despite the healing as Meza. He's the one who gets the D-mech, but the rest of the Bazooka Puppies have been taken off at the moment. Lots of assists going into Meza to keep them alive. There's Graviton Surge, locks in Derry, locks in Meta, round from the side, finds them both. Gonna get the self-destruct out in time, but they've got a shield to hide behind this time. Meza hops onto the point, hops off the point. No health, he's gonna die.
No health, no problem. Trying his very best just to run this timer down to 0 as close as they can. Looks like 20 seconds will be the final answer once they deal with this traitor. Down he goes. And with only 15 seconds on the clock, they are holding Eagle Gaming at bay, and they've got 1 minute 45 to push with, but look at how blue their lineup is.
Talking to blue, it's all about the ultimates. Board, Crew, Lilbao, and Leaf, they're the ones who are going to have those ultimates online. And Board finding a kill onto Meza as they're getting some high ground retention. Denia, Forsaken, Mete, just getting out the spawn room. They know they can't push up without their full lineup. There's someone stalling. I believe that there is a sneaky little Nesh hiding in the high ground.
Sneaky little Nesh. They're actually changing over completely, so Darnier's dropped Sombra, gone onto the Junkrat, and Nesh equally stepped away from that, and of course moved onto the Tracer himself. So, Nesh's Tracer, seen it pretty big in previous weeks. Maybe not quite as impactful as the Junkrat, but that's why they need to keep hold of it on side.
Graviton Surge did get a knockdown, but not enough to capitalize on as the Transcendence comes through to heal everyone up. There was a self-destruct goes into the air. Sticky going on to a Diva, not getting the D-Mech. I believe the sustain is still there as a Primal Rage Winston just gonna calm down, say a few woosahs and go back to being a regular monkey, but Bored in the meantime with that Coalescence cutting through Darnier and a mech for Leaf to then go finish off. Flame Strike on the Forsaken and Bored finding Nesh, and now the rest of Eagle Gaming just going to walk this one in.
I have no words for this quad. Constant quad tank coming through. The fact they're making it work this easily and teams still have not figured out a way to deal with it yet is astounding, but here comes the final fight for Bazooka Puppies.
Hard is so close to getting his, what, 4th Graviton Surge at this push? Who knows at this point? I've lost track. Darnier with the Riptide kill onto Crew, so they're missing one of their assets, one of their tanks. A Super Hoop gets a D-Mech. Super Pluk again with the kill onto Meza as Darnier. Gonna D-Mech Leaf and Super Pluk gonna find Meta. Now Nesh dancing around for his possible amount. He's caught in the Graviton Surge. Swinging a hammer would seal the deal. Transcendence for Forsaken coming out late. Both support ultimates to stall this out as long as they can. Transcendence and Sound Barrier. Maybe stagger those next time. You might find a little bit better. They're in full panic mode. They don't know what to do as Eagle Gaming and this quad tank are sitting on the payload. There's a self-destruct into the air. Crew now on the Widowmaker. Going to take out Denia as hard as to leave. Roll over Meza and Nesh. May coming out. They're trying everything to stall this one out. It's working at the moment, but how much longer can it last? Punch to the face should do the trick, and they don't even let Reaper get on the point.
They do manage to run them into overtime, which is at least a victory in some sense for itself. But it's against Quad Tank.
There's no winners here, Des.
No, you would, if you spoke to anyone in Europe about Quad Tank, they would say that is what you run when you don't have a brain. That is a quote from several people I've spoken to. But I think I'd argue it requires at least some brains to make it work. You know, okay, yes, you've got large health bars. You're not going to worry too much about getting picked off by one stray ability. You can afford to make a few mistakes as a Quad Tank combo compared to something else. Real question for me now, and dare I say it, is will Eagle Gaming finally swap up for the first point hold?
If it's not broke,
don't fix it. Yes.
So I can imagine, I can see them staying on it.
Attack and defense is a very different story, though.
Not to Eagle Gaming, apparently.
Clearly not.
They're going to run on that. I'm more interested to see what Bazooka Puppies do, because they have a little bit, from what we can tell, they have a deeper hero pool, because they've just played the same thing for the entire game. Crew, mixing it up on the Widowmaker, that's fair enough. We see the DPS option come out from them. I can make with that work. I can roll with that. But Bazooka Puppies, we know they've got the Farah of Mercy under their belt. They've got Dive under their belt. They've got mobility tanks. They've got shield tanks. They've got a wide array of resources under their belt. What do they roll with for their offensive push to break through what they're going to have to assume is a quad tank?
You either try and match it yourself with quad tank, an eye for an eye and all that kind of stuff, or, you know, come down to their level, take your pick. Would like to maybe see them go for something like the Farah. I'd even say go nuts and just try and mix up a Farah alongside a Junkrat. It is basically ultimate charge for both of those, and if you keep on rolling those ults over and over again, as long as you're watching out for Crew's hooks when you're playing as the Farah, things can go relatively well.
I imagine Super Pluk is going to play around this terrain at the moment. They're playing very far up onto the choke, and I think that's where they want to be. Just going to keep flicking his shield at the moment. 8 seconds remaining, and Bazooka Puppiez,
here we go.
They're going something a little bit more creative than a quad tank. They're going to go for that Pharaoh Mercy and put Nesh on the Tracer.
I think the Tracer here works. You're looking to get into the backline and bring down Board, because that's what won them the last fight. Was once Board went down, they were forced back. That was their first point defense last time round. Now they're going to try and do the same thing on the offense.
Darnier going to start the firing squad from the roof over the shield. Superfluke may have to retreat back or reposition just to stop that. They're free damage and free ult charge coming through for Darnier. Nesh having some skirmishes on the back line, and then they force through. They've actually dislodged the quad tank by simply just having the verticality to do it. Misposition with the concussive blast, trying to create some chaos in that back line. But they've not got a solid foothold yet, and they're still playing around the terrain, not willing to commit. And I think they're looking to ramp up those ults before they go in.
Absolutely are. Darnier, you're looking to charge up maybe the fastest alongside the Coalescence on Board's side. That's what he's trying to get online, because that could really help with bringing Darnier out of the sky, especially when he goes to the ult, and of course keeping all of these tanks alive.
No one's died yet, have they, Des?
Nope.
Everyone's still alive. They're running around. Damage boosted Darnier about to get that barrage. He's just down. He knows he can do it. He has to move in now. Into the face. Going to break down the shield. Defense matrix is there. So is Coalescence to shut it all down. And he gets a leaf to the face. So the barrage causes some chaos. Doesn't get any kills. Superfluke so low. He's being pocketed by that Moira. As hardest. The first casualty is a mech. Come on, guys. Kill someone as Sound Barrier comes out to store this a little bit longer. Bubble shield. And the Valkyrie to reinforce everyone's healing. Primal Ray staying up. Finally, first kill onto Hardest with the Goomba stomp from Meza. It's unlikely. I wouldn't have banked on that, but it happened anyway. Superfluke takes out Meta.
Oh, the
double bomb with the self-destruct onto Lilbo and Board. It's going to shut it down, and Bazooka Puppiez, they're going to roll and get this payload in motion.
That is how you break apart the quad tank, is you bring down the endless heals they are constantly getting, as well as the mobility they're using to retreat and attack as they need to. Ults looking good for Puppiez. Darnier has almost got his barrage back again. I think, like us, he got very excited as soon as he saw the hook miss. He was like, guys, time to go. Of course, the thing is, you've got to consider there is a diva there as well who can block all of it and potentially make you kill yourself at the same time.
Yep.
For more reasons than one.
Want that. Oh, that's a bit edgy, but we'll carry on anyway. Here's Darnier with the barrage. He's high upper ground. He's going to have to wait for that window. He's not even going to wait for it this time. It's working anyway. There's enough distraction and chaos. Leaf going to go up. Graviton Surge, put them together, and the self-destruct is there. It's not even needed as they've already wiped him out with the likes of the whole hog.
Still trying to bring down this Roadhog. Just cannot do it. The healing coming through is far too much for even one or two men to deal with. Eagle Gaming forced them back. I don't want to cast Overwatch anymore, man. This is too much.
It's a quad tank too much for you, Des.
It's too much.
I think it's too much for Bazooka Puppiez at times as well, but we have to persevere. We have to keep on fighting. Bazooka Puppiez, they're the overtime warriors. They do not give up, and they force out the 5th map time after time. They're going to keep going. They're going to keep throwing themselves at this quad tank until they find something that works.
Got to keep on trying if you want to find yourself in that top 4 spot. Nice sticky goes through. There goes Lilbo.
He's gone. That's ruining some of the healing, but the Coalescence is more than likely going to compensate for it. Sound Barrier, Superfluke, he can fight through that and get the D-Mech onto Meta before the shield actually landed. Then he gets the Tasty Diva on the inside. She didn't even get the Sound Barrier as well, I don't think. Nesh still on the back line, going low, can't commit to it as Darnier takes out Hardest. Nesh gets the D-Mech onto Leaf, and Forsaken, he's on the board with the Lucio. Darnier again, a kill onto Leaf as Nesh still dancing around crew. They haven't dislodged him. Pulse bomb available. Superfluke, he's just holding up the shield. He's stalling it up. He's using the terrain. Very clever here to keep him alive. Charge, it misses. Darnier capitalizes.
I think it took Nesh about 25 seconds there to get his second pulse bomb back, and this is what we keep on harking on about with quad tanks. Is as good as they are at taking ground and as good as they are at being able to combo out ultimates to basically wipe out any team composition, you will always find you are basically a huge ultimate battery for any other team because you play so close together.
If they're not doing damage, they are just walking bags of ult charge at a point for people like Darnier and like Nesh and Pepper. He throws the pulse bomb into the saloon. Not going to find anyone on this occasion, but he can keep trying because we know he's going to keep getting it back. There's the Sound Barrier coming out for Lilbo. Graviton Surge keeping them together. Whole hog coming from the side. Meza, it doesn't matter if you Primal Rage, you're still going to get peppered through. Meta gets the D-Mech with the self-destruct as Darnier finds the exposed Leaf. They're going up into high. Hook has missed, but unfortunately Darnier doesn't have that barrage this time to use it. Forsaken coming very close to the Sound Barrier, but it's Nesh. He's going to have that Pulse Bomb very shortly. One more percentage to do the trick. Misses the hook. They're all inside the saloon. If he can get a nice little hook onto something, but Superfluke, he's the one who's going to be the recipient of that bomb as Forsaken takes out Board yet again, and Nesh rolling on through. The advantage is all for Bazooka Puppiez.
Are finally starting to win these fights with more consistency, you might say. They finally started to crack the quad tank open. Eagle Gaming, though, still sticking by their guns, not going for any changes just yet. They've got the self-destruct on side. That should be back here in time for this if members of the team can jump into stall.
I reckon they can go for one more stall attempt, but you've got to ask yourself at what point is it worth it? They're going to come out straight into this barrage of Darnay, just waiting for the right time. Look at them, they're all in the choke, they can't respond to it as Meta gets the kill. He follows up with the micro missiles into Lil Bill. Nesh with that pulse bomb, Super Fluke, he's going to go down. Leaf, he's going to get D-Mech, Mezza's found crew. It doesn't matter, Eagle Gaming, they can't get onto this and stall it out.
Right, time to change now, I think, guys. Joke's over. We're near the end of the second map. It's time to change plan and think about what it is that you're going to do to deal with this comp, because now that's the third or fourth fight the Puppies have now won in a row quite consistently and without little difficulty. They're not even using all of their ults in these fights. This could be a very, very quick map end if this keeps on going.
I would usually call Super Fluke out for something like that, but he was at a spawn difference with the rest of his team, so he just charged in to make sure he died, and that way he can respawn with the rest of his team and not create a stagger later down the line.
Free ult charge.
Makes a little bit, yeah, it does give away free ult charge, but what choice do you have? You either stagger or you force yourself to be staggered sooner.
Maybe back away a bit quicker.
On a right half, he's going to get run down.
Oh, he could have charged for the stage across the lower ramp. Anyway, doesn't matter. Here we are into this next fight. Seeing now Darnay up on high. One more rocket will give him that ultimate.
Earthshat's going to lock down the rest of his team. Darnay, he's got a barrage in the sky, but there's not much he can do about it as the rest of Eagle Gaming is going to roll through. Bazooka Puppiez, hold on to the barrage. Save it for next time. Denia, they just used that Valkyrie to get himself alive. Or did he switch off? I can't tell if he was on the Moira. I believe he's on Mercy. He would have been pocketing Darnay.
Yeah.
But Nesh is just going to be picking away with the Tracer. A lot of damage fall off at that distance, so not doing much, just keeping a little bit of pressure, reminding him he's there.
This actually kills me.
Does it?
That it works so well, it's killing me. They're going to try and force it, though. Maybe they found the answer this time round. Barrage gets no one.
Well, do you know who's being killed? The Graviton Surge is going to pull everyone together, but still, Bazooka Puppiez finds Leaf. He's going to take out the mech. Crew goes down. The barrage is still from above. There's a charge. It's dangerous. It's risky. Here comes the self-destruct into the back line. No Everyone has to play forward and closer to Bazooka Puppiez, but no one's capitalizing on it. They put themselves in such a bad position on the side of Eagle Gaming, but no one can get it. Directs from Darnay. Takes out Leaf.
Super
Fluke is still alive. They can't touch Darnay. No one's been able to shut him down yet. He's out of pocket. You can't blame him for having a 20-win streak. But Nesh going to finally whittle down Super Fluke. This quad tank is coming out like a production line. Just tank after tank after tank, walking up onto the payload to stall it out. Hardest finally takes out Meta and returns the favor, but Darnay, he's going to take out Board. And oh my god, someone please kill this Roadhog.
Someone please just kill any of the lineup on Eagle Gaming who are holding this point out. There is 35 seconds to go. And the worst part is they stalled this out for a good minute and 20 seconds there. Not because they were winning the fight, but because their health bars were just so ridiculously high.
They're committing to it. No adaptation coming from Eagle Gaming.
They've got the combo on this side as well. Eagle Gaming have got the combo available to be able to prevent this going through. They just need to watch out for Darnay.
Can they make this Graviton Surge go supernova? They're pulling in multiple members. There's the barrage. Try and wave off the storm that's coming at them as Meta going to get D-Mexed as the self-destruct goes into the back line. Meta, he's the one who's going to get exposed as Darnay takes out Leaf, so no Divas on the board, but spawn advantage gives it over to Eagle Gaming.
Darnay's gone.
Coalescence, there is the whole hog to blast through Darnay. Super Fluke finds Forsaken. The quad tag, we may not like it, but it is definitely working for Eagle Gaming as they're stalling it out. Sound barrier, going to give them even more HP to run through. But guess who's got HP of his own? It's Meza. He's using the Primal Raid. A Sticky going on to Crew, but it's not going to take him down. He's got to take a breather, and he's going to give himself more healing. Still dancing around. Nesh needs to be taken out. Darnay's gone onto the Widowmaker. At least he can reinforce. Forsaken, he's going very far back with that Ana. Denia switching over to the Lucio. He's going to run at them as Leaf takes down Meza. Nesh still running around. He's going to rewind. Darnay gets the D-Mech onto Leaf. This fight is still going.
They're still trying to find a way to break this one open, but Nesh is the only guy consistently hanging on the point. Darnay switched across to Widowmaker. We have never seen this before, but he's just trying his best from afar. Out comes the grab surge.
It's going to pull them all together, and Hardest shreds through Meta and Nesh. Darnay is going to take down Leaf. Here's the coalescence from Board, the reinforced healing, the reinforced damage. Meza, last man standing on the point, going to jump and stall it out. Overtime, we're running down so quick. Quad tank reigns supreme. Eagle Gaming going to the halftime 2-0.
I can't do it.
It's fine. It's fine. They're there. You're okay?
It's a tough game.
It's a tough game.
I tell you, we feel tired of that. Imagine how the players feel. Because let's not forget as well, Overwatch is an intensive game at the best of times. When you're running constantly into a fight and having to fight for 45, 60 seconds in every fight, especially for guys like Nesh on the Tracer where everything is like super focused and intense, you're going to feel absolutely exhausted after that. Maybe Quad Tank isn't the strength of the comp itself. It's how tired the attacking team feels trying to deal with it. It's insane.
What I don't like about this is there's been a lot of positive reinforcement. They play Quad Tank, they win. They play Quad Tank, they win. If you're Eagle Gaming, you're going, well, like we said, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
What more incentive do you need?
So we could go into map 3, more than likely going to be Hanamura.